They said she was cursed. They said she brought death to any man who looked at her. They said her own father begged the town to take her away before she ruined them all. That was why they dragged her into the center of Laram, Wyoming, with a rough sack pulled over her head and rope around her wrists like she was a stray animal. The men laughed. The women turned their backs. The preacher did not say a word, but Elias Boone did not laugh. He stood at the edge of the crowd, tall and silent, his broad shoulders wrapped in a heavy buffalo coat dusted with snow. He had come down from the Bighorn Mountains only to trade pelts and buy flour before winter sealed the passes. He did not come for a bride. Yet there she was. The auction block was nothing more than an old wagon turned sideways in the mud. And the thin man named Clyde Mercer stood on it, waving a paper in his hand like he was selling fine cattle. "Strong back," Clyde shouted. "Young, no sickness, just unfortunate in the face." The crowd chuckled. The girl did not move. Even with the sack covering her head, Elias could see something strange about her posture. She was not bent in shame, she stood straight. Her chin was high beneath the cloth. "How much?" someone called. "10 pesos?" Clyde barked. $10 and she's yours. You won't have to look at her. Get the sack on if you want. A drunk ranch hand staggered forward. 5. 7. Another man said, "I need someone to scrub floors." They spoke about her like she was not even there. Elias felt something twist in his chest. He had seen men die in the war. He had seen widows starve. But this felt worse. This felt wrong. He stepped forward. 20, the number cut through the noise like a rifle shot. The crowd turned. Clyde's eyes widened. 20, Bon, you sure? You ain't even seen her. "I'm buying her work," Elias said, his voice low and steady. Not her face. The girl's hands tightened at her sides when he spoke. 30, Elias added before anyone else could answer. No one topped it. Clyde grinned and grabbed the leather pouch Elias tossed onto the wagon. The coins clinked heavy. "Solve. Sis yours, mountain man. Don't come crying when you see what's under that sack." Elias climbed onto the wagon. He untied the rope from the iron ring. He did not remove the sack. "Not yet." "Walk," he said quietly. She stepped down beside him. They left town under a sky the color of steel. No one tried to stop them, and the trail toward the Bighorns was long and empty. Elias had 2 horses. He mounted his chestnut stallion and tied the lead rope of the second horse to his saddle. He helped the girl onto it. She moved carefully but did not tremble. They rode for hours in silence. The snow deepened as they climbed. The air grew sharper. The town disappeared behind them like a bad dream. "You can take it off," Elias said at last without looking back. "No one's watching." She did not answer. After a moment, she reached up and loosened the rope around her neck, but instead of removing the sack, she only lifted it slightly so she could see the path ahead. Her face remained hidden. Elias frowned it, but said nothing. By nightfall, they reached his cabin. It stood against a wall of dark pine trees near a frozen creek. Smoke rose thin from the chimney. Yes, the place was rough but sturdy, built with his own hands. He dismounted and helped her down. Inside, the cabin was warm. A fire crackled in the stone hearth. The scent of pine filled the air. He closed the door behind them. "Take it off," he said. The girl stood in the center of the room. The firelight flickered against the burlap cloth. For a long moment, she did not move. "I won't scream," Elias added. "And I won't send you back." Her hands trembled slightly as they rose to the sack. She pulled it up and over her head. Elias expected burns. He expected twisted flesh or something terrible. Instead, he gasped. She was beautiful. Not in the soft, fragile way of city ladies. She had sharp features and strong bones. Her skin was pale against long, dark hair that fell to her shoulders. But it was her eyes that froze him in place. But one eye was bright green. The other was deep gray like a storm. There was a scar along her cheek, thin but long, as if someone had cut her on purpose. She stared at him, waiting for disgust. Well, she said, her voice steady. Do I look cursed? Elias stepped closer. He studied the scar. It was not an accident. It was a mark made with anger. Who did that? He asked quietly. My husband, she said. The word hung heavy in the air. I ran, she continued. He caught me. He said no man would ever want me again, so he made sure of it. Elias' jaw tightened. He told the town I was mad, and I tried to poison him. They believed him. And the sack. He said my face scared him. Elias felt heat rise in his chest. Not fair, not shame. Right. That's his name? He asked. Caleb Turner. Elias knew it. Turner owned half the cattle in the valley below Laram. A powerful man, the kind who thought money made him untouchable. He won't come up here. Elias said. He will, she replied. He doesn't let things go. Elias studied her again. What's your name? Rebecca Hall. In Nadie. You can have the loft. Ella sleep down here. She blinked, surprised. You're not afraid, she asked. I've seen worse than scars, he said. And I don't believe in curses. The next days were quiet. Rebecca worked without being asked. She cleaned the cabin. She cooked with skill that surprised him. She mended his torn coat. She moved like someone raised in a proper house, not a farm. One afternoon, he returned from checking traps to find her sitting by the window, reading from an old Bible he kept on a shelf. You can read, he asked. As she looked up. My father was a school teacher. Elias sat across from her. Why did you marry him? He asked gently. Her hands tightened around the book. He didn't have a choice. Snow began to fall harder that week. The mountains grew silent. On the sixth night, Elias stepped outside to bring in firewood.